So in that case, you won't be like, let's say I gave 5 days just to kind of explain all the details about the Splunk tool. It won't actually help you, because the thing that will help you in handling any kind of incident is actually the inner concepts, the deeper concept of the network concept part. Okay, and that you can just figure out. Okay, if you are using a Splunk tool, let's say what's the interface and all. I will give you a high level idea, and then you can figure out, okay, these are the data that is available on this tool, and some details that are not available that we need to figure out from the other systems, or let's say from other devices and all. Okay, so I hope if you guys still want me like not to go this much deeper and kind of explain all this thing in a much deeper way, or let's say you just want to understand these all things and just at a high level. So let's say the client, there's a detection device, and then there's a web server. You can guys can kind of let me know, and then what I will do is that I will reevaluate the materials, and maybe I won't get those deep in making you guys understand what this concept is, and then I will allocate that time in kind of going more further in like vulnerabilities and SIM part, which is kind of pending right now to kind of kind of to go through. But you guys can always kind of think about that and kind of let me know if there's any concern about that. Else, what I will do is that if there's no concern, I will kind of devote more time to the network part and this concept part. Similarly, for the concept part, we will look at, so rather than looking at as a high level, let's say chart of all the artifacts, like let's say there are like hundreds of artifacts for Windows. So rather than looking at just a chart of all those artifacts, we will actually look at least 10 of those artifacts in quite a huge detail. Okay, what that artifacts means and what that, so let's say there's an artifact called as prefetch file artifacts. So what that artifacts mean, what are the different kind of information that you can gather from that artifact in a similar way how we did that for, let's say, for this headers, for an example. Okay, so I will be kind of following that trend where I will be kind of giving more time to network and this part. But if you guys have any concern where you want me to just discuss that thing at high level, you can kind of just let me know. Okay.
Yes, sir. Actually, for the SIM part, when we will be discussing the SIM alerts and how to investigate, so will you be showing on Splunk or Alien Vault, or how it will
No,
be?
thing is that in the syllabus I have mentioned, I think three different other tools. I will be kind of discussing those things for those two itself at a high level. But personally, I would have actually opted for Splunk. The reason for that is two. The reason for that is two. The first thing is that nowadays most of the company doesn't uses actually uses those old tools. Actually, the one that was requested to us was those three tools. So we are kind of will be kind of handling the labs for that. But in reality, thing is that nowadays most of the company actually uses Splunk tool, for example. And the other thing is the Splunk tool right now is the standard. Okay. And the other reason is that, for example, if you go to the Splunk tool, they actually uh, have a competition which is called Boss of the SOC. Okay. And in this Boss of the SOC, actually they have a lot of like data that are kind of fed to the same tools. And what you can do is that there are a lot of like what do you say, very like real incidents, real incident, the latest one, what do you say, the investigations, which you can kind of you can kind of investigate using a Splunk tool. And also Splunk has a lot of other parameters, values like dashboards, where you can kind of create quickly dashboards, and let's say a lot of other scriptings that you can use. You can quickly set up very like alerts and all. You can tune the alerts. So personally, I would want to kind of, rather than maybe looking at the old tools like algorithms and all, maybe I would spend more time in Splunk, because I have few labs also for you guys where I can quickly explain you, let's say, the fundamentals of Splunk. Let's say how to write certain queries, how to search for certain queries on the logs. So if you
Yes,
guys
sir.
would,
Yes,
yeah.
sir. That was the main concern, because most of the companies, they will be mostly using Splunk. So actually, we want to mostly focus on the Splunk as of now, because Alien Vault we can do it in our free time, but we don't have access to Splunk. So we want to know like how Splunk tool works and how we can investigate on the Splunk tool. So that
Okay,
will be
so
like good if you are exposing us to Splunk as well.
yeah, so what I will then do in that case, is that I will maybe rather than deploying, showcasing you guys the alien vault and logarithm, which I have normally not seen most of the company uses that right now. Guys normally like figures, they only favors like Splunk, which is the one of the most best tool right now. So maybe what I can do is that I can maybe make some changes in the syllabus and maybe introduce the Splunk tool. And in that Splunk, what I will do is that maybe I can showcase you guys the fundamentals of Splunk, how to install the Splunk locally. So one of the reason why I made one of the features what I normally uses is that, let's say for investigation, I have multiple log files in GBs. So what I do is that quickly I install a Splunk on my local instance. I feed the log and I do the query at my local instance itself. Okay. So maybe what I can do is that in the Splunk instance, I can showcase you guys how to install that locally, how can install the Splunk as a container level, and then the fundamentals of the queries. And then what we'll do is that we'll figure out there are multiple lab files which I have. So what we can do is that we can go through those lab files and try to investigate the logs over there in the Splunk itself. So maybe I can make those changes. So you guys can, I can make those changes, but you guys can kind of maybe discuss more internally and maybe give me a confirmation maybe by next
Correct. Yes,
week.
we're actually interested in Splunk, but before you make any change, please have a talk with Sunil, because in here we're using Alien Vault, so maybe they may say like, why are you like changing the syllabus and going to Splunk? So
Okay, so in the Alien Bolt, obviously we have certain already syllabus we have already made. So what we will do is that obviously as a high level, what we have planned for you guys to kind of about the Alien Bolt, we will deliver that. Okay, but we'll try to kind of arrange something where we can devote some more time, let's say to the new syllabus, new content that is a Splunk, and maybe I can make certain adjustment to that syllabus, and I can deliver that out. Okay, so I'll just figure that out, and I hope, yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's all about the Splunk. Maybe I'll just plan that out going further, and we'll see some interesting labs to solve over Splunk, and the syllabus that we have already made for the alien board, we will deliver that out. But maybe at the high level so that we can allocate some time more towards the Splunk part. Okay. But overall, as I told, once you have this network and this forensics things, a more better whole, you will find that you can do the analysis even without using any of the SIEM tools or any of the, and even without using any of the Splunk tools. Okay. So we'll try to devote more time to the network and this concept part, and we'll try to understand few of the concepts in more deeper way, and as well as like looking at the things in theory as well as the lab parts. Okay, so I hope there are no concerns, and I will be kind of following the same trend going forward. And I think there are a few topics now to discuss about the HTTPS. So now let's resume our discussion to the HTTPS part, and let's quickly cover that out. Okay, so now the thing is that, guys, let's say so let's say there is a computer over here, computer one, and then there is a web server over here, and the computer one is making a HTTPS connection to that google.com, for example. And now let's say you don't have the detection device in place. Okay, so as a SOC professional, let's say you don't have the detection device in place. So as a SOC professional, definitely we won't be able to see the decrypted traffic. So that's one thing, we won't be able to see the traffic. But and this is something you will be kind of facing in a lot of scenarios. So let's say you are working for n number of clients. So at least in that n, let's say if there are 10 clients, at least 8 clients will not have this digital device in place. So this is something like you don't need to worry about. Even without this detection device, we can actually cover up multiple other details even without seeing the data in plain text. So let's figure out what all things we can see in the network traffic going back and forth between the computer one and the web server, even when the detection device is not in place. Okay. So, so the first thing which we will be able to see is the IP address. Okay. So this is something we'll be able to see without even the detection device. The second thing we'll be able to see is the TCP layer, and the TCP layer will have the ports number. Okay. So if so that is something we'll be able to again see at the